Well, peace be with you, all of you who's joining this live stream. Uh, Today, I announce this live to TikTok. Thank you so much for joining TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. LinkedIn for the first time. So hopefully, works, through the LinkedIn as well. Thank you so much for joining. As usual, I will be looking at another screen, which is iPad. Um, I will answer any questions that you post through TikTok, and then I also, answer any question from other platform. But thank you so much for joining this live stream Thursday. I tried to host another live stream Tuesday, but I was out of town and couldn't do it. And then yes, so whenever I see the questions, I will answer. Lefty 7710, you have a pending I-130. It's been a year. Now, you know, I mean, still you have an option called mandamus. You can sue USCIS to compel USCIS to take an action. Then that's the option. So usually when your case, especially with the USCIS, pending more than 1 year, usually then you can file mandamus lawsuit. You can contact your attorney or contact us, and then we can talk to you. NAD Nat asks question. Can you? Looks like you have a final removal order, and then you like to reopen and terminate it. It's a possibility. Is you should do it now because if well, I mean not if sorry when Trump's come back, it'll be more difficult. So when you have a final removal order, and then if you have a proper good relief, it means that you can like you have a marriage, marriage to U.S. citizen, then you may ask the court to reopen and dismiss it. Depends on where you live. Like if you are in Texas, more difficult. But if you live in like a California, New York, it's better. Sorry, I need to drink the water. Lefty is 7710. Okay, so provided additional information. Looks, we're not sure whether you're in the U.S. or overseas. You just mentioned I-130. Okay. One of you asked, maybe I'm just missing the first part of question. The question about the K1. I'm gonna see. Oh, okay, yeah. So you have a first one. Okay. Okay. So I don't know how to say your name because it's a different, symbol. Now, so your, divorce will be finalized. It means that the court will say that your proceedings are complete. Now, in most states, you'll be able to, apply for K1, fiance visa. But for example, in Wisconsin, there is a 6 month wait period. Even though you're gonna get married after your K1 is approved, make sure that you check with the state, where your U.S. citizen petitioner resides to see whether there's any wait period. Because, like I said, most states there is no wait time. When the divorce is finalized, your U.S. citizen petitioner may file 129F petition, but state like Wisconsin, there is a wait period after divorce is finalized. Some states like California, there is like cooling period before divorce is finalized. But once it's finalized, then you may start 129F petition. If you need attorney, let us know. I'm gonna scroll back to beginning of this list of the questions that I see. Okay, Shinda asked whether e-filing is a better. I usually say that e-filing is better if you submit only one case, like 589, 765, 130. But if you submit multiple forms, like marriage green card case, we prefer paper filing because we submit everything, including immigration medical exam. Okay, Oh yeah, your attorney say 15 minutes. I mean, like I said, it's up to your attorney and you. We just file mandamus after 1 year, 1 year, not the 15 months or all this. Under Biden, under Trump, maybe you need to file mandamus after normal processing time posted by the USCIS. Okay, now, yeah, Lefty 7710 asked a lot of questions. So you have a spouse visa. Okay, it looks like you have spouse visa. You mentioned K3. I mean, yeah, you may apply for K3, talk to your attorney, but it doesn't really shorten your wait times, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, you asked a lot of questions. Okay. Yeah, and then I will tell you this. For those of you who have a pending CR1 spouse visa, right? If your I-130 petitioner is U.S. citizen, you have an option called K3. Once you file I-130, then you can, add on K3. But in almost all cases, USCIS will approve your I-130 faster than 129F K3 visa. So it doesn't really allow you to bring your case to the US while you're going through the process. Best case scenario is to shorten I-130 wait time. But it looks like you have an attorney, so just talk to your attorney. Now, I'm just reviewing a list of the question here. Okay, so Ann Cooper asks, very good question. Is it better to go with a K1 or CR1? Sorry, I just been a long day. CR1 spouse visa to come to US? I will tell you this: it's a K1. Period. K1 is the best. Why? It's a faster, right? 6 months, right? And then number two, well, I'm not Trump, but under his first presidency, he tried to change so much, right? Immigration process, but the K1 didn't really affect it. So I think the K1 is the best option for you. But there's a second step. So, and Cooper, if you need an attorney, contact us. What we do is that um, when you call us, you'll talk to our intake specialists or managers. And then if you would like to talk to me directly, then you need to do paid consultation. So there's a link you can find whether you're watching from YouTube or TikTok, but usually you'll talk to our intake specialists or managers who's going to take your information. And then in some cases, we'll be able to share pricing information. But if you need a legal advice, you need to talk to an attorney like me. Okay. Is your name okay? Ask the question. Okay, so you're in New Jersey. Okay, your name is Mona Lisa. Okay, very good. So if you need, attorney, right? So then the viewer would say that divorce is being finalized in New Jersey, and then her name is Mona Lisa. If you need, or looking for attorney, contact us. Now I'm just reviewing this list of the question here. So I think that Dayani 95, once again butchering your name, sorry. I think that I talked to you previously. So you're married to U.S. citizen. Like you're saying that they say that you didn't have legal entry, so you have a pending marriage green card case. So when you submit your immigration paperwork, you has a burden. It means that you need to submit supporting documents. And then if you like to go through marriage green card case, right, it means that you enter with a visa or ESTA and get married to a citizen. Sometime you get married to a permanent resident, then you need to show that you enter with a visa or ESTA. Right? You're inspected and admitted. Now, sometime when you enter with, ESTA, you don't get I-94. There can be issue. There's a way to get a copy of your entry document. It's called 102, I-102. You may try that. Ramesh asks, how long does it take to get a tracking number? You mean like the receipt number? I'm not sure what you're asking. Yeah, so like unless you show that you enter with the visa or ESTA, then you're not able to adjust your status to permanent residency. You need to do consular process. So try to get entry document. Okay, you can do the Freedom of Information FOIA, or you can do 102. Yes, the Earth or Great ask question, right? How will Trump's presidency affect marriage green card cases? I'll be making TikTok videos and YouTube videos about this. The one of the changes will happen under his second term is the return of scheduling all interviews, right? So remember that under Biden, not all cases scheduled for interview. For us, during his presidency, about more than 90% of our cases never scheduled for interview. Very few were scheduled for interview. We're highly successful regardless. But under Trump, interviews will be scheduled, number one. And number two, uh, unfortunately, EAD work permit will take longer to get. Right now, under Biden this year, toward the end of 2024, you submit, about 30 days later, you get work permit. At least our cases, super fast, super fast. But under Trump, it's going to take longer. Number three, when you get EAD work permit, it's valid for 5 years, right? 5 years. Then you don't need to renew it. Now there's a confirmed speculation that he's going to cut it back to 2 years, which was the previous duration validity period, or even 1 year. So that's the third changes. Number four, not probably right away. He's going to reintroduce 944 self-sufficiency or self-sufficient public charge, maybe toward the end of next year. So this is why I tell all the time, if you have a marriage green card case or any other case, you need to do it now. Why wait? If you need to ask the court to reopen the case, which is a motion to recalendar, to dismiss it, or you just try to dismiss it, you need to do it now, because under Trump, it'll be more difficult to get your case dismissed with the immigration court. Do it now. Yeah, Shinda asked, very popular question. Is it safe to go overseas under Trump with a conditional residency, or when your 751 is pending, is it safe? Answer is yeah. I mean, it's a safe, but under his first term, the Trump's first term, most conditional residents were given hard time at the airport. They're questioned as if they have a real spouse, real husbands and wives overseas. I mean, it wasn't really easy to leave the United States and come back. So I will tell you this, I say apply now. In the context of going overseas, go overseas now before January 20th, because it'll be like before after. There will be so much difference. Why? Because CBP officers at the point of entry, if you fly overseas, right, it'll be airports. They will be like emboldened. There will be shock troopers in a way of the Trumpian immigration, because the CBP officers, they're not really subject to any extra review. I mean, they can do whatever they want. So just go overseas if you really need to leave the United States. Okay, the Lee asked the question. You have a pending 751 USCIS scheduled interview for you. Ours, with their own scheduled interview under Biden, and then you're waiting. Unfortunately, you need to wait. There's not much you can do. So I will tell you this. Usually, after interview, it's kind of hard to take any action. An officer will tell you need to wait at least 120 days and start calling. but not much information you can get after your interview. So this is why I tell all the time, it's better to spend some time extra to make sure that you submit really good case. Once submitted to USCIS, is beyond your control. The best way to avoid the request evidence and then interview under Biden, although it's almost over, was to submit really well prepared cases. That was our philosophy. We're going to continue, and then in fact we need to do more under Trump. Okay, you just see Ria. I think that I'm a little bit jumpy in terms of answering questions. You say your case is forwarded to Chicago. How long does it take for case a decision? Looks like you perhaps have a marriage green card case, and then National Benefit Center send your case to Chicago. Like how do you know whether your case is, or you live in different state and you file change of address and then you're in Chicago? So is that your questions? Just you need to ask a little bit more. I need more information. Hey, SB, welcome back. SB, our viewer, our friend, successfully completed interview and he has a 10-year green card. He's happy camper, I'm sure. Okay. A lot of you still like interested in going overseas with advanced parole. Like I said, if you really need to do it before January 20th. Like overseas trip, you need to be careful after that. Okay, so Joseph asked, good question. So your I-130 petitioner is a permanent resident, right? And then submitted N-400, still pending, and then you wonder whether you can submit I-130, 130A now. Answer is you may, but you need to be careful because number one, unthinkable, right? If your spouse N-400 is not approved, in fact denied, right, or long pending, then you're going to have an issue, right? If you enter with a visa ESTA overstay, perhaps unlawful employment, it can be a problem. But I'm sure that it will be approved, right? But number two, now when you submit your case, right, I-130 will say it's F2A, family preference category. Now, when your spouse gets a certificate of naturalization, you need to submit that to USCIS. Unfortunately, in many cases, USCIS will not update it automatically. I mean, like properly, correctly. So it can be frustrating. So I'm not your attorney, so you decide, but usually I prefer to wait until your spouse becomes a US citizen and you submit everything at once. And then if you need an attorney, you know how to call us, okay? Yeah, the silver asks, how can I contact you guys? Now, TikTok doesn't allow us to post the phone number, during the live or when I make the video. But when you check my profile, there's a phone number. You can click it and you can call number. So you can do it. Or you can, I got a lot of messages. So sending messages, probably not a good idea. Because like after Trump became president, just like a nonstop messaging, and then I just try to get back to you, but calling us is the best. Find that number. And then the law firm that I run is a Francis Law Center. I mean, as you know by now that I'm Dr. Jae Francis, right? I have a PhD and I was a college professor for 22 years, and then I'm from South Korea, so I have a Korean name. So then that's where the J came from, partially. My first name is Jung Jae. It's a little bit difficult to say and then remember. So simplify, J. Okay. Francis is my Catholic name, as you can see. I have a Black Madonna from Częstochowa, Poland. So that's why. So I have a doctor and then professor, doctor from Korea, J, and Catholic Francis, Dr. Jae Francis. My law firm's name is a Francis Law Center. It's easy to remember, right? As long as you remember my name. Okay, Silver, you say you need to file for work permit. So perhaps you have a pending asylum case and you waited 150 days. Is that what it is? Or you have a like you have an admin clause removal proceeding, or all this variation. Uh, just let us know. Okay. Okay, I'm just reviewing this. I'm just a little bit behind. Yeah, so then so NG Shine asks question, your work permit is valid for 5 years. So what does it mean for your green card? So it means that you have a valid employment authorization, right? You receive a social security card. With that, you are eligible to get state ID and driver license. Now, because you have a pending case, I don't know when you submitted your case, but there's a good chance that it will be reviewed by USCIS after Trump's becomes a president. So that might be your case. I'm just reviewing. Okay. Yeah, TD Boy asked question, is it more difficult to get a green card through marriage under Trump? I mean, literally answering your question is yes, but we're highly successful. Our law firm was successful. I'm sure that others during his first term. I know what they are, and then we're prepared. So if you ask, is going to be more difficult? Answer is yes, but at the end, our clients will prevail, so we will be successful, but it'll be more difficult for sure. I mean, that's the intent of a Trump immigration policy. So back case asked the question, how can you get our green card without any problem after we won your asylum in this administration? Well, congratulations. So looks like your asylum is approved. So you know that after 1 year, you'll be eligible to apply for green card. So it'll be under Trump. If your asylum case was bona fide, real, then you will prevail, right? So good wishes. If you need attorney, let us know. But it's good. I mean, getting asylum approval under Biden wasn't easy. Like, well, congratulations, like 10 times. Good for you. I'm just happy for you. Okay, ooh, Dr. Wasso, perhaps fellow PhD, right? Oops, sorry. You can be MD as well. I have a PhD. You said that okay, it's kind of interesting. You never went for interview. And the interview was not scheduled. And then when you check your status, say that interview was completed 2 days ago. Um, Now, I mean, there is a multiple possibility. It means that they actually scheduled interview for you, but you didn't get notice. Call USCIS. But the problem is that they don't really tell you whether they send you interview notice or not. So, unfortunately, right, you need to wait to get any decision notice. If they schedule interview but you didn't show up, then your case will be denied. Now, then you have a sort of two situation. One is that they mail the interview notice for you, but you didn't show up, then there's not much you can do. It's a denied, right? If you have a good case, you need to refile. But USCIS didn't actually send you any notice, and then they say that you didn't show up, and then they deny. Then you may sort of go with, it's called ombudsman's office. USCIS has this special unit that helps you with this situation. So you should contact ombudsman's office. Okay, so one of you, if you married to U.S. citizen, but you came through the borders without inspection, can you get a green card through marriage to U.S. citizen? Answer is yes, but not marriage green card case. It means that you're not processing your case in the U.S. So your option is to go through a 601A waiver. Now, when you enter the border or country without inspection, then there's a good chance that you may have a NTA, notice to appear. And then when you have an NTA, then on top of the waiver case, you need to ask the court to dismiss your case, the removal proceeding. So that's a possibility. Contact us if you need an attorney. Yeah, so Eric Sum, so you got married to U.S. citizen about 4 months ago, and then you like to know whether you can go ahead and file. Depends. So multiple factors, right? So did you enter the U.S. with a visa or ESTA, and then did you get married within 60 days or after 60 days? How long have you dated? Do you have a strong relationship documents? If you need attorney, Eric Sum, call us. Okay, call us. And then I mentioned and explained earlier, we offer free case evaluation by intake specialists or managers. But if you want to talk to me, right, directly, then there is a paid consultation. So just let us know. Okay, Mbong, still, I-131 travel permit is a popular topic. It's called advanced parole. And then you said, how long does it take to get advanced parole when you submit your marriage green card case? I would say between 6 months and 1 year. 6 months and 1 year. It takes quite some time. And then I told you previously that if you'd like to apply for a green card, do it now. If you'd like to ask the court to dismiss your case, do it now. And if you'd like to go overseas now, before January 20th, 2025. Okay, so Kukuron Pol, butchering your name, sorry. The Trump, when before he became a next president, promised that for those of you who completed college education in the U.S., there will be a pathway to permanent residency. Possibility, but speculation. Election. Just promises. We'll see. Hope that he does. Actually, hope that he does. But I don't think that it'll be automatic. You need to apply. Like there's no automatic process in this country. So probably you need to apply. Okay, so then I believe that your name is Sam. You enter with a tourist visa, you got married, apply for green card, so you have a pending green card case. Can you travel safely inside the United States? Answer is yes under Biden. And then depends. Like under Trump, it can be tricky. So I will tell you this. I'm gonna make a video about this. I'm not trying to scare you, people. Okay. I try to thank you so much for. I believe that's TikTok symbol. Sorry, just like I don't know, but thank you so much for sharing the gifts. I'm not trying to scare people, right? I mean, I don't need to, but I like to educate. And then before Trump, when I say that, well, if Trump's elected, this will happen, and then people who supported Trump say that I'm a Democrat. I'm just campaigning for Harris. Not really. Like, no, that's not what I do. I'm an immigration attorney. Because also I was a history professor. Remember, I was a history professor for 22 years. So actually went through Trump's first term as a professor and attorney back then. Just like full-time professor and attorney. It wasn't easy. And having Trump as a president wasn't easy. And later COVID. So I have a vivid memory of his first term and impact on U.S. immigration. So I talked about that. And after Trump became a president, and then I wanted to educate, viewers, especially undocumented, what not to do. And then, some people think that I'm just trying to scare people. That's not what I'm trying to do. I like to educate the people. So I will tell you this. I'm gonna make a video on this. It's called expedited removal. Expedited removal, right? Just remember, there is a like a removal. When you say removal, it means that you need to go through removal proceeding before the court. Expedited removal means that you're not going through an immigration court. There is no due process. So what does it mean? So according to current rule, if you're not able to show that you've been in the U.S. more than 2 years, and when the ICE or immigration agencies ask you to verify this information and you don't have anything with you on that spot, you could be put it into detention camps, and then you could be subject to expedited removal. So just be careful. Make sure that you carry some sort of document show that you've been here in this country more than 2 years. Doesn't matter whether you have a status or not. You need to show that you've been here for more than 2 years. We're almost out of time. So okay, one last one, Mora. Okay, so I understand. I understand why you like to go overseas. Holidays coming, right? You like to, I mean, you've been, away. I mean, she's, Mora, you apply for VAWA and then you have a travel document. It means that you have a bona fide determination. Good for you. And then you like to visit your families and friends during the holidays. I understand that. Perhaps you like to do it before Trump. Answer is yes. Yes. Just go overseas before Trump with a valid advance parole, right? Or if you're conditional residence with a 751 extension notices. Anyway, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Next week is a Thanksgiving, so no live stream next Thursday, but instead I'm gonna do it Tuesday. Couldn't post this announcement earlier because just like nonstop meetings and case processing. But I promise you, I will see you next Tuesday. If I don't see you next week, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays. We stay in touch. Now I'll say this. Peace be with you.